So, what are marketing skills? We hear a lot of what I call buzzwords about brand identity and building your brand and pushing your brand. And what are we telling our clients when we're talking about skills? Are we just telling them that we're going to push their brand and expand their horizons? What I want to talk about is breaking down what it means to me when it comes to marketing skills. What are my requirements of myself and my company when it comes to bringing these skills to the table to a business owner? Not just giving them a buzzword, not just creating some content and posting it and expecting results that way. Not just being a graphic design company, but what are we doing? What's our thought process when it comes to marketing skills? Well, for me, it's being a student of multiple different skill sets when it comes to the human brain, right? So one of those skill sets that I'm a big student of is psychology. How can we break down a brand into different parts that a company can use to connect with their customers if we don't even understand our customers' brains? We don't understand what our customers may be thinking whenever they walk into a store, or what our customers are thinking when they're running an ad. Are we just running ads? Are we just creating content hoping it's an attention getter by being pretty, and that will help our clients get customers? That's not what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking is, as a marketer, I have to think not only like my clients, but I have to think like their customers too. Right? So that is the psychology of it. Not just trying to figure out ways to sell, to understand why something should be sold and why someone will be interested in buying in the first place. So that's one of my skills. And I'm always a student of different psychologists that, luckily for me, I live in the 21st century. So that means that there's a whole lot of free content that people post that you can learn from. Of course, you have to be careful from learning from everybody, but if you can get free content from teachers that post on YouTube, for example, right? Or Harvard has free business courses that you can take right on their site. A lot of people, I feel like, don't take advantage of that. So another marketing skill for me will be, it's funny because every marketing company markets themselves of being able to do search engine optimization, right? But how much work are we putting into that? And one of the skills that I desire and I'm always working on, and I'm a student of, is authors. Authors, best-selling authors. How did they get to that point? How are they able to create compelling narratives that grip the reader, right? Grip you enough to spend $16 on a book when you won't even pay $10 for a Netflix subscription without being up in arms. How do they do that? Right? So I study those guys. I study how people react to different scenes in a movie or a book, especially a book. If you read something, that means you have to imagine it in your mind as you're reading. So if you have any type of reaction to that, whatever the author wrote, then they did their job correctly and they did it well too. So with those skills that I learned from them, it's only going to make me more effective. And I think in college they teach you mostly about attention getters, which is important. I don't want to disqualify how important that is, right? But we have to understand why it's able to get attention, not just that it's an attention getter, right? So these are the marketing skills that I like to incorporate in my company, And it's something that I want to be able to spread to other marketing companies, because I think this is something, as a business, there's a hole there that can make our clients even better, right? Instead of competing, I think we can make each other much better if we start incorporating some of these skills and start thinking of marketing in a different way. So what is our process? What do we do what do we do that's different at Creare Marketing? So in junction with what I've already explained to you, our process is very simple, right? Internally, it's intricate, but to our clients, it's very simple, because the point of being able to market for them is to make their life simple. So what we do is we break down a company's identity to the very last molecule with them. And what I mean by that is we learn what they believe, what goals they want to accomplish, who they are in a moment, how do they think about themselves, how do they think about their customers, how do they think their customers think about them, right? That is a brand's identity. And then we break that down, and we separate those into what we think could be more selling points, right? So when we run campaigns, depending on what the objective is for that campaign, we'll wrap that brand identity into that, and we'll run it that way. So it can be a very generalized answer or solution for a lot of companies. It's simple. It's something I think everyone can do, or at least it's a thought process at home. I think the biggest problem I run across is the fact that most brands don't even know what their identity is. So that's kind of a thought process or a thought experiment that I have to do with the owners. It's always fun to do, because I can see the thought bubbles in their head whenever I ask them that question. Once we're able to do that, we can curate a campaign together and be able to run it. And whenever you break down an identity that way and you run a campaign that way, you are automatically connecting with people who are looking for what you believe your brand identity is. It makes selling a whole lot easier. It makes it a whole lot easier because, if you don't know what your brand identity is and you have a product to sell, all you have is that product without a soul. Once you add that soul, once you add, that stature behind it, then people want to get behind you. They want to be a part of that, right? That's the biggest thing for people, is being able to identify with whatever it is, believe it or not. And if you can have them identify with that, then your life is going to be a whole lot easier. So that's something at Creare Marketing we're trying to do, is make lives a whole lot easier for our owners, for our influencers, people who are doing projects, whatever it is. We want to make life a whole lot easier, and that's the process that we think fixes that solution for people. So when it comes to marketing skills, that's the most important. Those are some of the important skills. I shouldn't say the most important, but those are some of the important skills that I don't think are considered, which is psychology and being able to build a narrative, right? Really understand how to build a narrative, how to be an author, right? And whenever we start incorporating those skills into our businesses, I think we will see a giant increase of retention rate. So I thank you guys for listening. You can find this on the Traveling Businessman. Hopefully I can post more of these on the Traveling Businessman. They're kind of fun to do, and it's just me sitting down and talking about thoughts that I keep in my head. I think a lot of owners would benefit if they, would come out and say what their goals are, what they want to achieve, So that's something Creare Marketing likes to do, get that word out. So thank you guys for listening.